everybody, Elisa here with another Vera Bradley bag of the day. Today, I thought I'd do something a little different. Usually, when I travel to visit my dad, I take a photo of all my Vera together and I post it on Instagram or wherever, and I usually just say all the Veras at Dad, at Dad's. So I thought I would actually make a video like that because I'm at my dad's now. I know, coronavirus. I don't want to hear any comments about how I'm supposed to be social distancing or self-quarantining. My dad is elderly, and there is no way I was not going to bring him a boatload of a stockpile of food so that he doesn't have to go out every day to, to the tiny grocery stores in Manhattan. So I'm coming to you from my hometown of New York City, Upper West Side. Woohoo! And I just thought, I have done packing videos, and I thought this would be something kind of different where I just sort of show all the Vera and how I've used it. Because I find that people ask me questions sometimes about how I'm using Vera, what I use, alternate uses for Vera that I might have. And so people might find this interesting and a good distraction for their minds from, all the coronavirus stress. So we'll see how this goes. I have all my Vera here. So I'll start with this. This is the lunch bunch. It's empty right now, but I did use it for some snacks for myself in the car. That's how I use this. This is Cat's Meow. And this is an item that initially I thought, I'm never going to be interested. I'm not interested in this kind of an item. I'll never use this kind of thing. But I ended up, when I went into one of my Vera panic modes, when a pattern was retiring, I think it was Sure Thing, I found one in a local Hallmark and it had good seahorse on it, so I bought it. And I started to use it, and now I kind of like them. So I have 3 now. This is, like I said, this is Cat's Meow, which was a limited edition. As most people know, very cute pattern. So I did have that on the passenger seat next to me in the car with some stuff in it. Then I had, something I won't bother showing, but I do have a video on it, is the trunk organizer, this Vera trunk organizer thing, and that's what I put all the groceries in, and it worked really well. It folds up and collapses. I could put a link to that video so people can see that item. It's not that spectacular looking, so I won't bother showing it. Then this is unusual for me. Usually I take a large duffel with all my clothing in it, but I'm noticing the way I pack and what I take varies by how much time I had to pack, and I was kind of in a rush. I was just like getting out of Dodge, kind of. I just was in a kind of panic mode, like let me get to New York City before maybe they shut down the tunnels or something like they did after 9/11. I felt like my access to my dad in the future maybe a little more limited, so I wanted to get here with all the groceries and stuff. So I'm not staying, I'm in and out, I'm not really staying here. And so I just threw all my clothing in a packable tote because I found that I didn't really have all that much clothing to take. And so I won't bother pulling it all out, but it's just kind of, I piled it up in one pile, all folded and neat, and just, plop the pile down in here. And I really like these packable totes. I find they're very handy. And this is Scattered Super Bloom, which is just such a gorgeous, yummy pattern. The light here is really good. This apartment gets great on one side anyway. The apartment gets all the southern light. It's great. I love this apartment. If you look out the window, you can see Jersey. So that's my clothing, all just in there, not a lot. I like these packable totes. I can put a link to my video. I have a couple of videos on the packable stuff, and they fold up real easy. I was intimidated at first, but they fold up very easily. And this was on top. This is just a factory style toiletries case, which I like because it's styled like a train case, with a zipper that zips around 3 sides of the top and pops open. just love that, very easy access. So I won't go through all my toiletries, but it fits everything I need. I don't have to take too much because I have stuff at my dad's, but I do take some stuff. And I do have Scotty dogs, that's blowing out. Scotty dogs travel pillowcase with stuff in it. I don't use these for pills. I use them for to contain other little loose things that I don't want sliding around. Then I have one in Flamingo Fiesta as well, you know, like tweezers and nail trimmers and vitamin pills, that kind of thing. But I don't use the, those are pills obviously, but I don't use the insert. I take the plastic insert out. I don't like that plastic insert thing. So that's that. This is stamped Paisley, and do like this item very much. Then I have a bag that I usually want to put on the passenger seat next to me while I'm driving, because I always drive to New York. And so I take something big. I've been taking a Vera Tote, and people, if they saw a recent video I did on this tote, this is Quilt Floral, which is a 2019 QuiltCon Vera Bradley pattern, limited edition. And I did find out recently from from a real Vera expert on patterns, thank you Victoria, that this was 2019 was the first time that Vera Bradley did that QuiltCon related pattern, and so hearing that, even more pleased that I was able to get my hands on this. Have the very first one. Just such a great pattern. I mean, so pretty. Like I said, the lavender reminds me of my mother in my mother's apartment. She's not alive anymore, so it's important to me to get this. And so I just throw a bunch of stuff in there. I will go over it because it's Vera. I can get a lot in here, which is why I love this bag, and it's sturdy, so I don't worry about weighting it down. My typical stuff, my iPad mini, cell phone in the Carson cell phone crossbody. This is Fruit Grove, which I've shown recently, blowing out a little bit, but really such a lovely pattern. I wish they would release this in some more bag styles. I only did the backpack. It's my not Vera, my normal GPS pouch. Some glasses and oh gosh, what is this? Bohemian Blooms pattern. Eyeglasses case. I got this at Steinmart. They don't seem to be stocking as much discount Vera anymore as they used to, though. I was disappointed to realize. And for some reason, I was in a panic. I thought, I don't know what I'm going to need. I threw my checkbook in my bag. I don't usually travel with my checkbook, but anyway, I did. And this is a Cat's Meow checkbook cover. I really do like this most recent version of the checkbook cover. I have one in Pink Elephant as well, which doesn't have as many features. Like it doesn't have this slip pocket on the back, which I like. And I want to show that it doesn't have this elastic loop for the pen like this one has, and then this has slip pockets on both sides, top and bottom has these slip pockets. I don't think the Pink Elephant one has as many, and so I'm really pleased with this. I like this a lot. And my current wallet, what I'm using currently is my wallet, which is the all-in-one crossbody. So this is nothing, unusual. This was in my other videos recently. This is Winter Palace, which is a Dillard's exclusive. And of course, can fit all of my normal ID cases that I use for photos. Right now I'm using a Campus double ID, and also the Deluxe Zip ID, which is newer version of this. I've shown this in a video where it opens, and it has a pin snap closure there. I like that because I like that you can get this double window to have two different photos showing when you open it. I like that a lot. Definitely can see myself getting more of these. And of course the lanyards. Okay, and then, this is not Vera. I always take a coin purse from the factory outlet store, a Kiss coin purse, to scoop out any loose change that's in my car, and one of the drink cups. I never leave anything in my car when I park on the street in Manhattan. And everybody knows you clear your car out because people will break in just for the hell of it, just for the fun of it, just if you've got something sitting on the seat or whatever. So anyway, this is Scroll Medallion. I was talking about this recently, mentioning this in another video because I was using the Mirror Cosmetic in this pattern, and I just love these medallions. And when you get them, you know, in a good position, like this one's a pretty good position, almost centered, then they're just very appealing to me. Dog leash, easy pass, and this is a cosmetic pouch, one of the velvet Berry Merry ones with the sledding polar bear applique. But the reason I took this is not something I normally would have taken, is because I was sort of humoring my husband, who was insisting I take plastic gloves. And this opens nice and wide, so I threw some plastic gloves in there. I have actually used one at the ATM, and have a couple in my coat pocket for if I go out with my dad in the elevator, although I've been using my elbow to press the buttons. But anyway, I was slipping it in here. It stands up nice this way, as well as, you know, having this nice triangular shape, so it's got a good base and it sits up nice like that, but it also will sit like that nice. And so it nested in between all my other stuff really well, and I could keep the zipper sort of open and just reach in and pull out one. And so I was using it like that in here. And one more Vera thing, which was the coin purse in Cloud Vines, which I just used to put some my dad's apartment keys, my set of spare keys for his apartment, in here. You can see this pattern really makes nice use. There's a nice variety if you look at the details, especially like in a flower like this. You know, if you look at it just quickly at first, you know, you don't notice all the details in there. But there's a range of colors used to shape that flower, including a very light, like kind of grass green, a light aqua, and the darker colors, the darker tones. These little touches of the green throughout this pattern, here in this like little berry kind of thing over there. I just think is very nice and makes this pattern a little bit more special than it otherwise would be. So you really see these nice little details and this scrolling kind of vine-like stems that connect the different flower heads together. And this one here, you know, does have some green detail in it. It's not just blue here, not just aqua, but some real like kind of grass greens in there. Very nice. I think it's a little much for me for a bag because it is very like I've said in another pattern, it's got a very kind of seafoam kind of feeling to it, the color, which is a little much for me, but I do like it in smaller items. And there's the lining here. This is pretty lavender lining, which I'm realizing now is very much like the lining to Regal Rosette. I did take a look more closely at Regal Rosette since doing my first video on this, and it's definitely related to this swatch here, definitely in the lining. This piece here, which, you know, is sort of like the lining here, just in different colors. This is very much like the lining in Regal Rosette. And then I have the bulk of my stuff. And this is the Grand Tote in Foxwood. And I will put a link to my other video for this. It is ginormous. I don't have my tape measure with me now, so I can't give you the dimensions, but I mean, when this lies flat, it is the length of my torso at least, probably longer. I hold it up to my body in the other video, but I love this thing. I didn't expect to love it as much as I do. For car travel, it is perfect for me. Get all my stuff in there, and it's pretty much all Vera. So why I like it is because it doesn't have a top zip, which is why I wouldn't use it for train or plane travel or bus travel or anything, only for private travel in my car. But when I get here, I feel like, there's not always a lot of space. I mean, it's a big apartment. But especially when I come with my husband, we're sort of fighting for all the few countertops, surface area to put our stuff down when we unpack. And this kind of saves me from having to do that because it opens so wide that I can just leave all my stuff sort of in it and get a good view of it at any time and just pull out what I need and then slip back in. It works really well. So I do have a workbook in here, and that's not Vera. But then I have my, you can sort of see that. This is my laptop sleeve. I'm filling with my laptop, so it's not in here, but I just put it back in here to show that it does fit. And my laptop was slipped right in there. I have my larger iPad. I don't always travel with this, but when I go to my dad's, I do tend to take it. And this, like the laptop sleeve, this is Batik Leaves factory outlet pattern. It's just a great whimsical pattern. I'm sorry I don't have the blanket in that. I did buy the blanket at one point, but I returned it because I was kind of hurting for cash. And then I always seem like I'm taking work with me. And I'm finding that these little travel cases work really well to contain my work, which is usually just reams of paper. This one is citrus. What's nice about these travel cases is that they made use of that coordinating trim, and the citrus coordinating trim has elephants in it, which is great. And I'm partial to chartreuse, so this kind of very pale lemon kind of color was going to appeal to me, and I love it in combination with this sort of sky blue. And so in here, it is for travel rather than how I'm using it. So it's lined, the top flap has a mesh zipper pocket, the ribbon pull, and my stack of paper just fits right in there real nice. That's all my work stuff. And I'll show it has a strip of cardboard that's removable here, so it's giving it some form, it's helping it hold its form. And it has some slip pockets mesh on the other sort of wall. But I also I want to show the lining because the lining is elephants. So great. I mean, this is very, just like the pink, almost just like the pink elephant print, but different colors. And I just love that blue. This is a pattern that I gravitate towards, solely for the trim and the lining. Because the exterior is a little subdued. It's pretty, but it's a very sort of subdued kind of pattern. Just little sort of oval shapes of flowers. So that's that. Then I have my other little travel case in Java Blue with my knitting, which, let's see, I would best do this so it doesn't come falling out. So my knitting just sort of fits in there. Oh, there goes a needle. I was trying to avoid losing my needles. And I can use that mesh pocket for other things like crochet hook or cable needle, whatever knitting tool that I might need. So that works well. And they just pack up real nice because they just kind of stack next to each other real nice. And I have my charger cord pouch, which is a Lighten Up medium cosmetic. This is Stitched Garden. And you can see it just fits. It's all my charger cords, including in the mesh slip pockets. So I have charger cords in there, and then I have my battery, a laptop battery, and other cords. Just really like this because, like I said, it kind of collapses, so I can. It's mushable, and kind of slips in well to whatever the space is. Yeah, this I can't remember what this is called. This is just more toiletries in here. This might have been like a brush and pencil case from the factory outlet. And you get it where all their travel cosmetic pouches usually are. That's where you find this. This is Hilo Meadow. Love this pattern. And a medium cosmetic in Foxwood, which I'm using, as I mentioned in another video, I was going to use it this way. I'm using it to transport my jewelry boxes. And so I like the idea of it being plastic lined for protection. Also just can keep my boxes in there to slip in real good. The width is perfect. And I also took with me this mini kiss lock, which I use to put my rings in, just like when I go into the shower or something, I take my rings off. I put them in here and they're sort of, protected and contained, so I don't have to worry about losing them. So that's that. Oh, and this Foxwood with a fox there and a fox there. When I saw that, 2 foxes, I was like, well, you gotta get that, right? How do you walk away from the foxes? And last but not least, this pencil case, which I got at Staples, and Wildflower Paisley, to keep all my work pencils and other things in, because I was using a quilted cotton pocket, but a pouch of some kind, but it always picked up a smell from the pencil. It has that lead kind of pencil wood smell, and I didn't want that to get stuck in nice fabric, so I'm putting everything in plastic, and then in this, I don't care so much what happens to this, But this is a canvas, feels like canvas, and it's lined with a lining, feels just kind of like satin, just pink satin. I only had 2 patterns. I don't remember what the other pattern was off the top of my head at Staples. Oh, that was cute for, I think it cost me like $4 or something. I'm not sure if the guy rang me up right because I was expecting it to be a little bit more than that. And so you can just see this is just one big, I just have plastic bags in this zipper pocket. That's the only interior organization, is this zipper pocket on this hanging flap. And I will say once again, because I know on the website they're trying to get you to believe this is reversible, this is not a reversible bag. I don't care what they tell me, this is not reversible. The seams on the inside are not finished as they should be to be worn on the exterior. But this does stay open so nice and wide that you do get to experience the pattern, which is great because everyone knows that by now the interior of Foxwood is the great, Foxwood Menagerie here in the purple color scheme. You get the critters, or the foxes and the jackrabbits and the field mice and the chipmunk. Oh, that little field mouse there. And the 2 birds there on this sort of ground of foliage, scattered foliage and purple. It's just really nicely done because, as I've talked about, the colors really pop, right? The colors of the critters really pop against that sort of monotone kind of purple foliage. Very nicely done, and the foliage is sort of rendered very crisply, fine line work, very precise line work, but the animals almost look like they're done in a more painterly, softer, looser kind of style, so that also helps them pop well. So I just love this bag, so pleased with the bag. It has no structure and it has no base. You can see, it really doesn't stand up on its own, but once you get stuff in there, it's great. And also the fact that it doesn't really have a base gives you some more flexibility in how you pack it up. It can accommodate different widths of items more, and it conforms to your stuff really well. So really pleased with this item. So anyway, that was it. Just all the Vera, here it is, all the Vera dads. I didn't even count it, right? I should count it. Okay, let's do a count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So at a quick count, my guess would be 23 items, give or take. I might have missed something. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope that was just a little fun distraction for people, get their minds off of all the serious stuff going on in the world right now, and hopefully see you next time back in my regular spot on Vera Bradley Bag of the Day.